Okay, continuing on from yesterday, 8.4. Multiplying rational expressions. Here we go. Okay, number one. 5x squared over 2xy squared times 6xy cubed over 10y. Well, when we're multiplying things together, like we were doing before, we just multiply straight across. So really, as long as we're multiplying, we can run this bar all the way across and just continue to multiply. Multiply that stuff, multiply that stuff. That little dot, of course, means multiply. So, if we've got a whole bunch of terms up there on the top and things that we can cancel, let's get to work doing that. Well, first, let's cancel some x's. So we're going to get rid of that and that. Those reduce to 1. This x squared here is going to stay where it's at because there's nothing else to cancel with. I like that. Let's cancel, we can multiply a couple other things together. Or we could just cancel them as they stand. Let's start with the y's. We've got y squared here and a y, and then we've got a y cubed on top. So that's 3y's on the bottom, 3y's on the top. Let's cancel, cancel, cancel. We can get rid of all three of them on the top and the bottom. That leaves us with 5x squared times 6 and 2 times 10 on the bottom. Well, we can cancel even further yet, right? Let's cancel this 10 with this 5, and this is going to be a 1. This will be a 2. And we can cancel 6 with this 2 over here, or the other one. I guess it doesn't really matter. And we'll have 3 up top, make that a 3, and a 1 down on the bottom. Okay, now at this point, we can do no more canceling that I can see. So we'll take 1 times x squared times 3, and we'll get 3x squared on top. And 1 times 2 is all we have left on the bottom, so that's a 2. Right there, we're good to go. We remember from yesterday, we're looking at number 2 now, that we're going to do what first? We're going to factor first. Exclamation points, arrows, smiley faces, all that good stuff. Okay, so factoring. In the top on the left side here, I think I'm going to pull out a 3x. That leaves me with 1 minus x. On the bottom here, let's see what we can pull out. Let's try a plus 5 minus 1. That multiplies to a 5 and adds to a positive 4. Let's go over here. Let's go with a plus 5 and an x minus 4. That multiplies to a negative 20, adds to a positive x, or positive 1. And down here we're going to leave this 3x alone. That's about all we can do. So this is gone, this is gone, this is gone. All replaced. Okay, well, let's see what we can cancel right away. We've got an x plus 5 that can go. We've got a 3x down here and a 3x up here that can go. And what that leaves us with, we'll rewrite it to make it a little easier to see. We've got 1 minus x times x minus 4. And on the bottom, we've got an x minus 1. Now you'll say, well, we don't have anything exactly the same, so we're done canceling. Well, almost. Almost. Let's take a look here at what happens if we pull a negative 1 out of one of these quantities. We have 1 minus x, and we have x minus 1. Well, obviously those aren't the same thing, but if we do a little bit of creative algebra here, we can get them to be the same thing. Now follow along. What we're going to do is I'll take this one on the bottom, this x minus 1, and I'm going to factor out a negative 1. I'm going to pull a negative 1 out. So in dividing by a negative 1, what I've done here is I've made the x negative and the 1 positive. So what we've got here is a positive 1 and a negative x. I factored out a negative 1. So now you're gone. Now we've got something we can cancel. We can cancel that with that. What we've got left, x minus 4 on top, negative 1 on the bottom. Now we could have just as easily pulled the negative 1 out of there. And we could certainly have done that, which would have left us with the negative x minus 4 over 1. This guy and this guy, of course, same thing. Just got a negative in a different part of the fraction, right? Okay, so we can handle that. let's look at, make a little bit more room here. And let's look at the last one we've got here. Okay, we've got x minus 5, x plus 5 on top, x cubed minus 1 on the bottom, times x squared plus x plus 1. And I'm just going to go ahead and make that over 1, just so that we know that we're dealing with fractions. These are rational expressions, ration, fractions. Okay, so x plus 5 over x cubed minus 1. Well, we did a little bit of these yesterday. Remember our difference of cubes? Let's take the difference of cubes down here on the bottom. 1 is, of course, 1 cubed. So we're going to have something like, let's see if we remember our difference of cubes formula. We're going to have x minus 1 times the quantity x squared plus 1x plus 1. Okay, that'll be on the bottom of our fraction. So let's rewrite what we've got here. We've got x plus 5 over x minus 1 times the quantity x squared plus x plus 1. We're going to multiply that times the quantity, see how well this worked out, x squared plus x plus 1 all over 1. Okay, well obviously these quantities are going to cancel. That was fun. On top we've got x plus 5. On the bottom we've got x minus 1 times 1, but it's just x minus 1. So there we go. Solved. That's pretty easy. Okay, let's move on to our next page. Now we're going to do a little bit of dividing. We remember that when we divide fractions, the key step is here to take this second one, and we're going to take the reciprocal, or just flip it upside down. So if we're going to divide 2/5 by 7/3, we're going to have 2/5. We're going to multiply that, and we're going to take the reciprocal of 7/3, just 3/7. Well, we can do that fairly easily. We'll take 2 times 3, gives us 6. 5 times 7 gives us 35. We have 6 over 35. Okay, that's pretty easy. We're going to apply that same principle over here. We're going to take and make a reciprocal out of that. Well, let's take 7 over x plus 1. We're going to multiply times 2x plus 2 all over x plus 2. Okay, well, we can certainly do that. Now, we remember to factor, so we'll come down here and we'll have 7 over x plus 1. We can do a little factoring on the top here. We'll pull a 2 out. X plus 1 over x plus 2. And then we can cancel these guys. So 7 times 2 is 14 over x plus 2. Okay, so we've got that. Let's try this last one here. We'll get a reciprocal, and we'll factor as we do it. So let's start over here. We've got 7x over 2x minus 10, and we're going to multiply that by, let's factor as we take our reciprocals here. So our factors down on the bottom here, take it up to the top. We'll have x minus 6, x minus 5, I think. Then on top, we're going to pull this x out front. We'll have x times 1, x minus 6. Okay. So now we've got a few things that we can cancel. Let's pull a 2 out of here. Okay, I like that. All right, so let's take this x minus 5, cancel that x minus 5. X minus 6 cancels that x minus 6. This x here, we can cancel that x there. So really all we've got left is this 7 and this 2. It gives us 7 over